My name is Yusef Bilal, and I'm a poet, community activist, and humanitarian. I was born with the name Leroy Alfonso Blue some 69 years ago in Jacksonville, Florida. At an early age, I started my dream about being famous and successful. Don't know where I really got these ideas from, but I started looking out of in my classroom in the elementary school at Johnny Ford and just daydreaming about being famous and very successful. I finished high school in Jacksonville in the public schools, 12 years, and entered into the United States Air Force. And I guess that's where my journey really began about traveling around the world. I was a dental hygienist in the Air Force, did tours at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona, Abbiano Air Force Base in Abbiano, Italy, and Andrews Air Force Base in Washington, D.C. I had a part-time job while at Andrews, working in the hangar of Air Force One where the President parks his plane. And I got to see many dignitaries coming into the country, to visit Washington, and go to the White House. After my tour in the Air Force, I got out, came back home briefly to Jacksonville, Florida, and decided I wanted to be an actor. And so one day I packed up my things and I headed off to Los Angeles, California, where I enrolled in acting school at Merritt's School of Dramatic Arts in Hollywood. I guess I stayed in that school about 2 years, doing extra roles in movies, meaning I didn't have dialogue, didn't have any speech, but just an atmosphere actor is what they called it. Was in many movies as an extra. One of my classmates became very successful, Tony Cox. He's a dwarf and he's an actor in Hollywood. I see him in a lot of movies, and he made it, and I'm very happy for him. I didn't really make it as an actor, a great actor, no fame, no notoriety. And I stayed there for several years in Los Angeles. And then eventually I moved back home to Jacksonville, Florida, where I met my first wife. And we started a cookie business or bakery. And our success in that business was we were known as the only African-American cookie manufacturer in the state of Florida, which I think is a great achievement for someone who really had any prior business experience. After that, the folding of that business, I went on to do other things in the community. I started the Yusef Bilal International World Peace Movement, Say No to Violence. And that involved me going into the local schools, teaching conflict resolution. We had a button campaign, Bilal World Peace Button Movement. We started the Guns for Books movement. This was a literacy program that I started to encourage children to read books and to say no to violence, especially gun violence, to put down guns and pick up books. It was called the Yusef Bilal Guns for Books program. At the events, at these Guns for Book events, we would have the kids come, special guests, storytellers, clowns, etc. And we would give them books and book bags and pens and crayons, etc., things of this nature, and to encourage their parents, to be more involved, in their reading, at home. From there, I moved on, still having these desires to be famous and world renowned. Me and my second wife, we started an Avon business, and successfully we became number 2 in Avon sales in the city of Jacksonville, Florida. I had these notions and feelings of success and fame and notoriety. So from there we went to the ManUp. I designed a bottle of cologne called ManUp. It's a cologne that I created for men. It has great smell. I get many compliments about this cologne.
I met Yusef about, say, 28 years ago. And it has been a tremendous journey. He is a real entrepreneur. He has created in his sleep and wake up early in the morning before we made our prayers with me and his daughter Yasmin, giving us all of his ideas of what he wanted to do for the future to make a better life for us. As I said, Yusuf, we packed many boxes, many shirts, sit on many corners. Yasmin typed many letters, sealed envelopes. We done it all ourselves in our own personal home to make Yusuf one day, which we pray that if it's Allah's will, he will make this goal that he desired to do.
I think one of my greatest success in Jacksonville is the poem that I wrote about this great city, a poem called Jacksonville. It's on display at the Ritz Theater downtown in Jacksonville, for all to see. I encourage anyone who gets the time to visit visit the Ritz Theater to go down and check out my poem, entitled Jacksonville.
As I stated before, we did it in our home. We did it in our business. He's so creative that I retired from my job in the Duval County Public School System, and he created 2 gift shops. No, 3 gift shops for me with the name of Nafisa's Gift Shop. We were really successful. At one of our gift shops, we were so successful that we just took up the whole area of the entrance when you first came in. Also, he made us, me, him, and Yasmin, number 2 in selling Avon for several years, over $100,000, $150,000. Not all profit, but we were really successful in that.
Currently, I'm living in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Every day I get to see the beautiful blue and clear Caribbean Sea. It was in Montego Bay that I come up with my latest invention called ManUp. It is a fragrance that I've created for men. Very refreshing. ManUp to me has symbolic meaning that it represents the unity of man, brotherhood. Remember, man up, and remember that masculinity starts here.